Welcome back. We have been talking about mental health days, what you like to call brain health days in schools, and should we have them? And I think it's a really interesting idea. I think it's every bit as important as physical health days because it is Physical Health Day. It's been really interesting. I've loved this week. And this episode, we're going to talk about why humans aren't actually designed to be happy. So really interesting. Stay with us because at the end, I want to hear from you. I know that sounds weird, why humans aren't biologically designed to be happy, but we're going to tell you what you can do to basically negate that, how you can change that and take control of it.
How you can redesign
Absolutely.
your mind.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. That'd be
Redesign your mind. Yeah, that's good.
Title for a book. But let me read a testimonial first. And we want you to submit them because we put all the testimonials or the reviews, even the bad ones, into a drawing for a free book. So, hi, Daniel and Tana. I wanted to let you know how you changed my life. I've always been a solo mom. I was single-handedly putting my daughter through Azusa Pacific, and I wasn't able to make ends meet. I'm trying to save money by eating whatever my employer offered me as a lunch buffet and trying to eat as cheaply as possible outside of that, and definitely not paying attention to what I was eating. I was just trying to get calories in without checking the quality of those calories. I went to my doctor with several health concerns: eczema, gaining weight, lackluster feeling, sleeping poorly, etc., that I was experiencing, and she did some blood work. The results were devastating. I was clearly not getting what my middle-aged body needed, and my results reflected this immediately. I started looking for solutions, and through Saddleback Church, I found the Daniel Plan because I was so enthralled by the results. From members, I read and watched everything that you two had available online and participated in the Brain Warriors Way group before the book and cookbook came out. That was so much fun.
It was fun
for us to do. The Brain Warriors Way really changed my life. I signed up for the book and cookbook before they were published. I went back to see my doctor. She did the same blood work, and she was astonished at the improvement. She asked how I turned my life around. So I told her about the Brain Warriors Way and how it made such a difference in my life. Oh. I keep up with you both by listening to your podcasts and following you on the websites. I take brain and body power vitamins, pro-brain biotics, and restful sleep. With all the improvements in my life, thanks to you two, I am now on my way to earning a master's degree in counseling psychology. I couldn't have done it without you. I'm so thankful you changed my life.
Is that not the coolest story? That's amazing. Thank you so much for sending that in. And I have to tell you, we've written a lot of books. You've written an insane number of books. I've written 9 plus a journal, and the Brain Warriors Way was that was the most fun for me. I loved it. So thank you for that. I love that. So let's talk about why humans are not designed to be happy. So there was a huge happiness and positive thinking. So the industry for happiness and positive thinking estimated to be worth $11 billion a year. But it's creating this fantasy that happiness is a realistic goal. So chasing the happiness dream is a very American concept that most other countries don't even follow, exported to the rest of the world through popular culture. Indeed, the pursuit of happiness is one of the U.S.'s unalienable rights. Unfortunately, this has helped to create an expectation that real life stubbornly refuses to deliver. So interesting. Let's talk about this because there's a biological reason this is true, but it doesn't mean you have to follow this, right? We are designed.
What's the question we want them to ask themselves now? Is it what makes you happy, or is happiness important to you?
For me, I think it would be, am I happy? And if not, how could I be happy? But I think by the end of this,
redesign?
Yeah. So by the end of this, we want you to be able to answer that, right? Because humans are not biologically hardwired to notice what makes them happy or to notice what is good. We are hardwired to notice what is wrong, right? Especially those of us who have been through any kind of trauma in the past, you definitely notice what's wrong, right? Because we've had to for survival. Our survival instincts are to notice what's scary, what's threatening, what's wrong. And if you've lived that way as a child, you're even more conscious of it. So let's talk about it.
Well, from an evolutionary standpoint, we were made or we evolved in
Running
a
from
time
tigers.
that was dangerous.
Right.
And there was, whenever you would wake up in the morning, if you woke up, it's what's going to eat me, what's going to hurt me, what's going to be the trouble today. So humans are incredibly resilient. But when you wake up, and so many of my patients, they wake up with fear. And there's a biological reason for that, is that when you're just waking up, your brain is actually pretty sleepy.
So you go back to
But
that.
your cingulate is active. It's the most active part of your brain. So your worry center is active, but your more thoughtful brain
Isn't awake.
is on vacation. And so you wake up with...
So that's a super interesting idea that we used to be that way. So this is going to be weird. I would love to actually get your feedback on this, males versus females, because I got to tell you, most females feel that way every day anyways, right? Maybe not every day, not when you're at home, but we have to be more conscious, right? We are more conscious.
Women have anxiety and depression double.
But I'm talking about regarding safety. Right? If we're walking somewhere and it's night, you're paying attention because we're bred that way from the time we are little kids. Be careful, look around, pay attention, who's around you, because it's just easier to overpower us, right? Or it's easier to be put into situations. So just as a whole, women have to be more careful. And so we've been raised to think that way anyways.
So there's probably a genetic memory part of that, and we've talked about the mouse study a bunch of times, that they made mice afraid of the scent of cherry blossoms, and they found their children were afraid of the scent of cherry blossoms, and their grandchildren were afraid of the scent of cherry blossoms. So we just go back even a couple of generations. If you think of the Holocaust, or you think of World War I, and then World War II, and then Vietnam, there's a lot of trauma that is housed in our genes. That the trauma you experienced as a teenager, unless you take care of it, you may in some ways donate that to the next
Well,
generation.
but I think as women, we do that intentionally to our girls because we want them to be paying attention. So, I mean, I would love to hear from our listeners I certainly did, because I was attacked at 15 walking to school. I've made sure that my daughter pays attention. She takes martial arts. She's able to pay attention, look around, and protect herself.
So yes, we're wired.
Male, female.
We're wired for anxiety. And low levels of anxiety, just to let you know, are bad for you, right? If you don't have enough anxiety, you give your phone number to the first guy you meet in a bar, which may be a bad thing.
Right.
That you drive 125 miles an hour down the freeway
That's
in
my
the
point.
rain.
Right.
So some anxiety is absolutely essential. But, we promised you that we teach you to redesign your mind. I like that title a lot. And how do you do it? You wake up every day and you say to yourself, today is going to be a great day. And when we do that as part of our ritual in the morning, why is your day going to be a great day? Your unconscious mind finds it and then we'll focus on it. If you just wake up and you allow your designed brain to be unhappy, then you're going to be unhappy. So wake up every day and change your focus.
So for me, one thing that I do is I don't focus on being happy as much as I focus on being grateful for what I have. And so I have to tell a funny story about the game. Do you remember the game? You were trying to get me to play the brain game to notice the happy faces. And do you remember that?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I use this story a lot. So when you take Web Neuro, so those of you that are BrainFit Life members, which is our online and mobile app, you can take Web Neuro. It measures 17 areas of cognitive function. Well, 2 of those areas are how good are you at recognizing faces, and do you recognize happy faces faster than sad faces? Well, my partner in crime, Tana, has the CIA pattern where she's really good at recognizing faces, but she recognizes the bad guys way more than the good guys.
And we got into this, like, I won't call it an argument, but debate. Let's call it a heated debate, because you were frustrated with me. You're like, you need to do this game every day and like start focusing on the happy phases because you'll be happier. And I'm like,
Right, we have games to train happiness.
and I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm like, I don't want to notice the happy faces. I want to notice the terrorists. I don't care about people walking past me that are smiling. I care about the guy that's a threat. I care about the guy that's going to attack my kid, that's going to, like, shoot someone. Those are the ones I want to notice. And we were just having this like heated debate. So just a little side note away from that's why I don't really focus on happy as much as I focus on gratitude, because there's a certain part of my brain I know that's always going to be that way. You think of it as me being sometimes paranoid, and I don't. I think of it as me being prepared. So based on...
I'm a clinical psychiatrist.
I know, but...
So I can diagnose paranoid.
Yeah, but I'm not buying it. So I see, for me, what helps me is being prepared.
All right. So
Gratitude.
gratitude has been associated with happiness,
Right.
for sure. If you just write down 3 things you're grateful for every day,
Absolutely.
you'll notice a significant increase in your level of happiness. At the end of each day, what I do, I say a prayer before I go to bed, and then I just think, well, what great thing happened today?
Yes.
What went well today?
That I'm willing to
training happiness. And happiness, I don't think, is actually a great goal. I think a great goal is purposefulness.
Yes.
Why am I here? And what did I do today to make the world a better place?
And I like that, because happiness is sort of a fleeting thought or feeling, whereas when you're purposeful, it's this deeper sense of joy that it brings you. And that's different to me.
And if you're not about yourself, I think this is one of the reasons suicide has gone up so much in teenagers, because of social media. It's all about me
Right.
and my likes and my fans and what other people say about me. And I think that's dangerous.
Right.
Where when we get testimonials like the one we got today with the woman who's getting a master's degree in counseling psychology, and our work's been important to her, that makes me happy.
And there's
But it's not, my goal's not happiness.
Right.
My goal is
Helping.
usefulness.
Yes. It's purposefulness and helping. And there's also a reason that people say that religion is the opiate of the masses, right? But if you stop and think about it for a minute, why is that a bad thing, right? Your prayer, meditation, communication, fellowship, those are all very good things. So biopsychosocial, spiritual, we talk about those 4 circles. When you talk about things like religion, which involves prayer and community, and we think of prayer and meditation being very similar, right? So you're focusing on something very positive. Those are things that help you to be happier.
Well, science actually says it's not a bad thing that people who go to church,
Right.
That they live longer,
Right.
or synagogue or to the mosque. They're part of a group of people who want to do good things in the world.
Right. It's
And
not a crutch, it's a hospital.
Religion has, there's been lots and lots of bad things
Of course.
done with religion, but there's been lots and lots of bad things done without it.
And there's been lots and lots of good things
the
done,
opiate
too.
of the masses actually came from an atheist cocaine addict,
Right.
which was Freud.
I wasn't going to say it, but...
Came up with ideas like penis envy. It's like,
Right.
Really? I never sort of got it. He had lots of great ideas, but some of them were insane.
So there's
Humans aren't designed to be happy, but you can redesign your mind.
There's a really great saying that I love. Success is having what you want, and happiness is wanting what you have. So it's learning to be
Well, then I'm like
satisfied.
a super happy person
Me
because
too.
I have you.
Me too.
Me too. You have you too.
No, I have you too.
So what's the one thing you can take away from this episode? Write it on your social media channels and hashtag Brain Warriors Way podcast. We'd be so grateful. Also, leave a review on iTunes or brainwarriorswaypodcast.com, and we'll enter you into a drawing for a free book. We love giving books away.
If you're enjoying the Brain Warriors Way podcast, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always know when there's a new episode. And while you're at it, feel free to give us a review or 5-star rating, as that helps others find the podcast.
If you're considering coming to Amen clinics or trying some of the brain healthy supplements from BrainMD, you can use the code podcast10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com or a 10% discount on all supplements at brainmdhealth.com. For more information, give us a call at 855-978-1363.